Yo, it's your boy Marita Boy. I'm back up in this thing, man. And if you've been paying attention to my last 3 lives, we've been going over 100K Track's statement that he gave to the police, Detective Moretti, and 2 immigration officers when he was being detained on an immigration hold. Now, what was happening was they was detaining him and they was trying to get him to tell information, information that he had or may have had on the YNW Melly case, because they knew that he picked up Melly because of the cell phone records, the cell phone towers. They knew that he was with Melly when they was trying to get in contact with Melly, and they was contacting Track and asking him where was Melly, and then they pinged Track's phone and pinged Melly's phone, and they realized that he was sitting right beside Melly. At the same time, he was telling them he didn't know where Melly was, he couldn't get in contact with Melly and all of this, right? So as we went over the Track's statement, it came to me a realization that Track could not be an actual officer of the law. Now, it's been this narrative that's been spun ever since the King Von shooting that Track was an actual officer of the law. We all heard the audio where they were saying Officer Francois shot, and we also know that Track got shot that night, and Track's last name is Francois. So it wasn't hard for us to just feel like they was talking about Track. Now, I'm gonna say this. I don't know where that audio came from. I don't even recall them saying the officer was shot that night, so it's kind of confusing. But as I went over Track's statement on my last 3 lives, I began to realize that Track could not be an actual officer of the law. They actually had him detained for 2 possession of marijuana charges that were misdemeanors that he had already resolved with the law, and they were using them as leverage and threatening to deport him back to Haiti because they felt like he had information, and they felt like he was misleading the investigation, and they felt like that he could tell them stuff that they needed to, in order to help convict Melly, right? So it was my realization that if he was an officer of the law, then he would not have been detained, actually incarcerated, and they would not have been interrogating him, threatening him to deport him back to Haiti. Track been here since 5 years old, but he is from Haiti, and they was saying that they was going to use those possession of marijuana charges that he got in the past as grounds to deport him, right? Now, I'm gonna say this. He cannot be an actual law enforcement officer, because if he was, then he would have to divulge his information that he have on the case. Track is actually the one who picked Melly up. They know this because they pinged his phones. They know this for a fact that Track was the one that picked Melly up after he got out the car with Bortland, right? So he cannot be an actual law enforcement officer. So let's just put that to bed. I want to clear that up right now. I know it's been an ongoing narrative that he was an actual officer of the law. And I'm gonna say this: we wasn't wrong for feeling like that due to the information that we had. But now that we have new information, I'm here to tell y'all. I'm here first to tell y'all. I'm gonna say that he's not an actual officer of the law. Now, what he is he is a snitch. And I'm gonna say this. When the police asked Track what happened to the gun and why they went by this field, and they know he went by the field because they pinged their phones, and they found them having to stop by a field. They stopped by a field on October 26th on the way to Melbourne to do the video shoot with Burger. Nightmares from the Bottom. I think that's the name of the song Melly has with Burger, a rapper from Melbourne. So they stopped at this field, and they wanted to ask Track, why did he stop at the field? Track said he didn't know why they stopped at the field. He say he just is a manager, and he go wherever the artists go. He says he don't ask where we going, where we stopping at. We just go there. He was trying to explain that he didn't understand why they stopped at the field. And I'm gonna let y'all come up with y'all theories as to what you think why you think he said that. I know why he said it, but I'm gonna just leave that up to y'all for y'all own personal, opinions. But during that stop, Jacoby Mills gave the police a statement. Jacoby Mills is a member of YNW who was down there when all this happened, and he gave a statement to the police saying that him, Melly, and Bortland went and found the murder weapon. So allegedly, Melly stashed the murder weapon at this field, and then that night of the 26th, when they was going to the video shoot, they stopped by the field. Jacoby Mills say he found the gun. Say he himself found the gun It was a 40 caliber handgun, the same caliber handgun that was used to kill Sack and Juvie. And then he say that Track took the gun and said, "I'll take care of it." And then the police actually pinged them stopping by a canal, and the police believe this is where they discarded the weapon at, right? So when the police divulged that Jacoby Mills told them that Track had the gun, Track's first statement was, "I had the gun. That was Jacoby who had the gun." You see what I'm saying? That's snitching. He said that Jacoby had the gun. Now, Jacoby snitched on him first. But Track snitched on Jacoby once the police told Track that Jacoby said that he had the gun. So they both snitched, right? Also, Track is the one who gave up Melly's phone. Now, if you watch the interview with 1090 Jake, 1090 Jake said in the interview with Track that he could not find any court documents that said that Track was ordered to give up that phone, right? Now, if 1090 Jake can't find it, it ain't there. You see what I'm saying? So I don't know if Track gave that phone up because he was being detained and he used it to get out of being detained, because if you watch my last 3 lives, it's clear that Track was telling the police that, hey, I'll help y'all if I can, but you gotta let me out. Just go look at my last 3 lives. We read the whole statement over the whole 30-some pages. We read it out of what Track said and what the detective said and what the immigration officer said to Track. The whole time they was threatening Track to deport him, and Track was saying that he didn't know anything, but at the same time he would help them if he could. So I don't know if he was just trying to lie to them and run a play on them, but I do know that he did end up giving them the phone, and he even said it in the statement that he gave them the phone. Also, when they asked Track what happened to the gun, Track say, "I don't know what happened to the gun." They say, "Well, how don't you know what happened to the gun?" He say, "Because all of them had guns." He said that all of the members had guns. That means all of those guys from YNW or the little clique that they had down there at the time on October 26th, Track said that they all had guns. That's snitching. Some of them guys are felons. You see what I'm saying? Now, I don't know if any of those guys was arrested from the statements that Track had. I tend to believe no. But at the same time, that's snitching too. So if you want to call Track Officer Francois, technically you can. But as far as him being an actual law enforcement officer, no. Now, as far as him being a snitch, yes, this is confirmed. We have his statement that he gave to Detective Moretti and 2 immigration officers. You see what I'm saying? So I just want to clear that up. It was on my mind. I'm out here at the park with my nephew, spending time with my family. You know what I'm saying? Enjoying the sun and the good weather. You know what I'm saying? I want you to subscribe to this channel. I want you to like this video. I want you to comment on this video to let me know how you feel about what I just divulged to you guys. I just want to clear that up because it's been a very, very widespread, ongoing narrative that Track was an actual law enforcement officer. And me reading over that statement, I could clearly tell that he is not a law enforcement officer. Unless he MI6, CIA, KGB, Tom Cruise jumping out the sky, hanging, trying to break into a bank vault or something like that. Other than that, he cannot be a law enforcement officer, but he is on record as telling on Jacoby Mills. So that would make him a snitch. Technically, he's a snitch. You know what I'm saying? So, like, share, subscribe, comment to this video. Oh, and also, I want you to go subscribe to YNW Juvie's father's channel. It's called Spoonfuls of Game. It's on YouTube. He's going to be giving play-by-play analysis of the witness testimony when the trial starts. But we need to get his subscribers up to 1,000 subscribers, and we need to get his watch time hours up to 4,000 watch time hours so he can go live and so he can be monetized. He's going to give you play-by-play analysis of the statements and testimonies that the witnesses give. He knows everybody intimately. He knows everybody that's involved in this case. He has a daughter from Bortland's mama, and at the same time, he's been dropping videos on his channel, and he's been giving a lot of information. He actually divulged on his last video that Bortland's mama told him that Melly killed Chris right after the murders. You see what I'm saying? He also has somebody that has had an intimate relationship with Melly's mama on several different occasions. You see what I'm saying? So this is information that you guys will get firsthand if you could go subscribe to Spoonfuls of Game. Go ahead, run his video, run his views up, run his likes up, run his watch time hours up, subscribe to his channel, like, share, subscribe, chill.